All right, so you're prepping for a user experience analyst interview, and you want to make sure you absolutely nail it.
For sure.
Well, we've got a whole stack of RoleCatcher resources to help us out with that.
Okay.
Their career guide, their interview guide,
Nice.
even some AI tools to help fine-tune your approach.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to deep dive into those sample interview questions
Right.
to try to figure out, like, what is really being asked here.
Yeah, it's not just about, having the right answer, like a textbook answer.
Right.
It's about showing the interviewer that you get the deeper meaning of each question.
Yeah.
They want to see how you think,
I see.
how you approach, real world UX challenges.
Okay, so let's jump right in with a question that pops up all the time.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience conducting user research?
Yeah, this one is all about showcasing your research chops.
Okay.
So go beyond just listing methodologies.
Yeah.
Think about a specific project where you use like a mix of methods.
Like what?
Maybe surveys,
Uh-huh.
interviews, A/B testing.
Okay.
You really want to paint a clear picture for the interviewer.
Okay.
What were the goals?
Right.
What challenges did you face?
Yep.
What were some insights you uncovered?
And don't forget to highlight how those insights actually led to improvements in the product or the experience.
Oh, for sure. Like
Okay.
maybe you discovered a pain point in the checkout process that led to a redesign.
Right.
Or your research helped inform the development of a whole new feature.
Yeah, you really want to show them you can translate that research into action.
Absolutely.
And I bet they often follow up with,
Oh, yeah.
what was the most challenging aspect of that research study and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, this is where you get to show off your problem-solving skills.
Okay.
Maybe you had a super tight deadline,
Uh-huh.
or you struggled to recruit participants for a study.
Yeah, how did you adapt and find solutions?
Exactly.
Okay, so let's move on to another common question.
Okay.
How do you identify user needs and pain points? It's kind of basic.
Right. It sounds simple, but there's a lot packed in there.
Yeah,
It's about empathy and analysis.
I see.
You need to show them that you can put yourself in the user's shoes.
Right.
How do you uncover those unspoken frustrations?
Yeah.
Maybe it's through careful observation during usability testing or noticing patterns in user feedback.
You know, the RoleCatcher Interview Guide mentions combining qualitative data,
Oh, yeah.
like direct feedback from users,
Right.
with quantitative data, like website analytics or app analytics.
Yeah, you want to have like the full picture.
Right. So what users say they want
Mm-hmm.
versus how they actually behave.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about a time you uncovered a need that wasn't explicitly stated.
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe users were abandoning their carts at a certain point in the checkout flow,
Right.
but they didn't actually tell you why.
Yeah. How did you dig deeper to understand the root cause?
That kind of story really showcases your analytical thinking.
Definitely.
And speaking of insights, the RoleCatcher Career Guide points out that user-centered design, it's booming right now.
For sure.
Companies are realizing
Yeah.
happy users means a successful business.
Absolutely. It's not just a trend. It's like a shift
Right.
in how companies think about product development.
Yeah, but that means more opportunities, but also more competition
Right.
for those UX roles.
Exactly. So nailing these interview questions is even more important.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, ready for question 3?
Bring it on.
How do you prioritize user feedback and feature requests?
Yes, the classic balancing act.
Right.
There are always more good ideas than time and resources.
Oh, for sure.
So you need to show that you can make those tough decisions and justify them.
So, like, how would you do that?
Well, maybe you use a scoring system based on user impact,
Okay.
business value, and development effort.
The interview guide even gives some specific criteria,
Oh,
like prioritizing feedback based on the severity of the issue, the number of users affected,
right.
the potential impact on business goals.
Having a well-articulated system like that really shows you think strategically.
And also, I think transparency is key.
Oh, absolutely.
If a feature request doesn't make the cut,
Yeah.
how do you communicate that to the user?
It's about managing expectations respectfully,
Yeah.
even when you're saying no.
Right. And you know what? They
Right.
might even ask,
Uh-oh.
can you give me an example of a time you had to say no to a feature request?
Ooh, that's a good one.
So be ready with a story
Yeah.
that shows your communication skills.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can give you an edge.
Oh, tell me more.
Imagine being able to tailor your answers to each specific company.
Wow.
Their AI analyzes job descriptions,
Okay.
and it suggests what skills or experiences you should really highlight in your answers.
It's like having a personal coach
Yeah.
prepping you for each interview. It can even analyze your CV or resume to identify any skill gaps you might want to address during the interview.
So you're presenting like the best version of yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Question 4 gets into the visual side of things.
Okay.
How do you design user flows and wireframes?
All right. So this is where you really get to show off your design thinking.
I like it.
So explain how you translate those user needs into a tangible design.
Okay.
You start with user flows, showing how users navigate through a product to achieve their goals.
Right.
Then you explain how you use wireframes to visually represent that interface.
And the interview guide emphasizes that wireframes are about functionality.
Oh, yeah.
Not visual perfection.
Right.
It's about clarity, simplicity, and consistency.
Absolutely. It's about solving problems.
Yeah.
Not just making things pretty.
Right. And I bet they might follow up with, what software tools do you use for creating user flows and wireframes?
Yeah. So be prepared to talk about your experience with Figma, Sketch, Adobe XD.
Yeah.
Whatever tools you prefer, and, highlight any personal preferences or innovative approaches you've developed.
Cool. Okay, next up, we've got question number 5.
Okay.
How do you conduct usability testing?
All right, so this is all about evaluating the effectiveness of those designs we were just talking about.
Okay.
Showcase your expertise in different usability testing methods.
Like what?
How do you recruit participants? What kind of test scenarios do you create?
Yeah.
Most importantly, how do you analyze those results to pinpoint areas for improvement?
The RoleCatcher Interview Guide suggests emphasizing a structured approach.
Okay.
Clearly define your goals.
Right.
Develop a solid test plan and document your findings meticulously.
So you come across as organized and thorough.
Yeah. Don't just focus on the problems, though.
Oh, right.
Talk about what worked well and why.
Yeah, shows you're looking at the big picture.
And I bet they'll probably ask you, can you give me an example of a usability test you conducted and what you learned from it?
Oh, that's a classic. So be ready with a concrete example.
What were the challenges? What were the insights, the changes that you implemented?
Exactly.
Speaking of insights,
Yeah.
the RoleCatcher Career Guide has some interesting points about specialization within UX.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
So it mentions niches like mobile app design, accessibility, user research, even industry-specific UX.
Okay.
Like healthcare or
writing, which focuses on the words used in interfaces, and voice user interface design.
Interesting.
Which is all about creating smooth experiences for voice assistants.
It's worth thinking about what area really excites you the most.
Definitely.
All right, question 6 gets into measuring impact.
Okay.
How do you measure the success of a user experience design?
Right. You can't just say it looks good.
Exactly. You need to connect your work to tangible outcomes. Talk about key performance indicators or KPIs that align with business goals.
You want to show them that you understand the language of business.
So things like conversion rates, task completion, times customer satisfaction scores.
The interview guide also stresses the importance of explaining how you collect and analyze this data.
Okay.
Whether it's A/B testing user surveys or heat map analysis, show them you're data-driven.
And remember, success can be subtle.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's about those small, incremental improvements that add up to a big difference in the overall user experience.
Absolutely. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI is really handy.
Oh, how so?
It analyzes the job description you're applying for and suggests specific KPIs to focus on in your answer.
Like a personalized cheat sheet.
Yeah, exactly.
Tailored to each interview.
Totally.
Nice. Okay, let's move on to question number 7.
All right.
Can you describe a time when you had to make a trade-off between user needs and business goals?
Ooh, this one can be tricky.
Yeah, it's about showing you can navigate those tough decisions.
Right.
The interview guide recommends using a specific example.
Okay.
Don't just talk about your process. Show how you applied it in a real-world situation.
And remember, there's no right or wrong answer here.
Yeah.
It's about demonstrating thoughtful decision-making.
Explain your reasoning, the factors you considered, and the outcome.
Exactly. And be ready for potential follow-up questions like, looking back, would you have handled that situation differently? If so, how?
That shows self-awareness and a willingness to learn.
Speaking of learning, The RoleCatcher Career Guide provides a nice overview of different career stages for UX professionals.
I like that.
It's helpful to have a sense of the path ahead.
Right.
They outline typical responsibilities at each stage, from entry level to senior roles and the skills you need to progress.
And they even offer example profiles of UX professionals at different career points.
Which is great for visualizing your own growth.
Awesome. Okay. Question 8 focuses on teamwork.
Okay, let's hear it.
How do you collaborate with stakeholders and cross-functional teams?
All right, so UX is rarely a solo act.
Right.
This question is all about your communication and interpersonal skills.
You need to show you can work effectively with designers, developers, product managers, marketing, everyone.
The interview guide emphasizes building relationships.
Okay.
Setting clear expectations and communicating effectively.
So that could mean like explaining complex technical concepts in a way that everyone understands.
Right, or presenting your research findings in a way that's both compelling and informative.
And of course, they're going to ask you.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Can you give me an example of a time when you had to resolve a conflict with a stakeholder and how you approached the situation?
Be ready to showcase your conflict resolution skills.
So show them you can find common ground.
Right.
Even when opinions differ.
Exactly. And guess what? RoleCatcher's AI can help you prep for this one, too.
Oh, way how?
It analyzes your CV and highlights relevant experience working in collaborative environments.
Okay.
It even suggests specific examples from your past work that you can use to illustrate those collaboration skills.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay. Ready for the final question in this deep dive?
Hit me.
Can you describe a time when you had to persuade stakeholders to adopt a user-centered design approach?
The art of persuasion.
Right.
So this is where you get to be an advocate for the user.
Yeah.
Not everyone understands the value of user-centered design.
For sure.
So you need to show them that you can communicate those benefits effectively.
The interview guide recommends using a specific example to illustrate your approach.
Okay.
What was the challenge? How did you approach it?
Right.
What was the outcome?
And remember, persuasion is about more than just logic and data.
It's about understanding your audience and tailoring your message to their needs and concerns.
It's about building relationships and gaining trust.
And be prepared for follow-up questions. Like, what were the key challenges you faced in that situation and how did you overcome them?
They want to see your persistence and problem solving in action.
And they want to see those moments where you were able to change someone's mind and get them on board with putting the user first.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
9 challenging interview questions.
Wow.
Some great insights from RoleCatcher.
Yeah, but remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
The field of UX is constantly evolving.
So true.
Stay curious.
Yeah.
Keep learning and keep advocating for those amazing user experiences.
Love it. And you know, one of the best ways to stay ahead of that curve is to leverage those resources that RoleCatcher provides.
Absolutely.
It's like having a whole team of UX experts in your corner.
Totally. We've talked about how their AI can tailor your answers and highlight those relevant skills for each job, but it goes way beyond that.
Like what?
It can actually help you get noticed by the right employers. It's like having like a personal marketing team working behind the scenes to get your resume seen by the people who matter.
I like that. And also, don't forget about the practice aspect.
Oh, yeah. Practice is key.
Their AI can give you feedback on your interview answers.
Right.
So you can refine your delivery and make sure you're coming across clearly and confidently.
The more comfortable you are talking about your experience and your approach to UX, the more you'll shine in that interview.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's connect all of this back to you.
Okay.
What does it mean for your User Experience Analyst interview prep?
It means being prepared to go beyond those surface-level answers.
Okay.
You know, these sample questions are a starting point.
Right.
But you need to weave in your own experiences and insights.
Think about specific projects you've worked on, challenges you've overcome, and the impact you've made.
Those are the stories that'll make you stand out.
And don't be afraid to show your passion for UX.
Yeah, let that enthusiasm shine through.
Remember, the best interviews are conversations.
For sure.
It's about connecting with the interviewer and showing them why you're the perfect fit for the role.
Now, here's a final thought for you to ponder.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about acing the interview. But how can you leverage what you've learned today to thrive in your UX career?
Ooh, That's a good question.
It's not just about getting the job, it's about building a fulfilling and successful career.
So true.
Maybe it's about identifying a niche area that really excites you and becoming an expert in that field.
Ooh, I like that. Or seeking out mentors.
Yeah.
Or joining professional organizations to expand your network and stay on top of industry trends.
Whatever path you choose,
Yeah.
remember that learning and growth are essential in the ever-evolving world of user experience.
That brings us to the end of our deep dive into User Experience Analyst interview prep.
Hope you feel empowered and ready to tackle those interviews.
With confidence.
You got this.
And if you ever need a refresher, you know where to find us.
Right here on the Deep Dive with RoleCatcher as your guide.
Until next time. And that brings us to the end of this deep dive.
Yeah, into User Experience Analyst interview prep.
We covered a lot of ground today.
We did.
From understanding the core of what a UX analyst does,
Right.
all the way to tackling some of those tough interview questions.
Yeah, those are always tricky.
And remember those RoleCatcher resources we mentioned?
Oh yeah, they can be a game changer for sure.
Their career guides are packed with insights, and their AI tools can help you tailor those answers and get noticed by the right people.
It's like having a personalized coach and a marketing team all rolled into one.
So as you continue your interview prep, keep those resources in mind.
Definitely.
And remember everything we've talked about today.
Practice those answers.
Yeah.
Showcase your passion.
Let that enthusiasm shine through.
Because at the end of the day, it's all about showing the interviewer that you're the perfect fit for that UX analyst role.
And that you're ready to make a real impact on the world of user experience.
So go out there and crush those interviews.
We're cheering you on. And remember, if you ever need a refresher, you know where to find us.
Right here on the Deep Dive.
Until next time.